In the past, when people talked about drones, they sounded like something out of science fiction. But today, drones have become so common that it's now normal to see one flying through your local park. Drones aren't just fun, they're useful. Because of how easy it is to learn how to control them, there's almost no end to what these little aerial cameras can capture. Authorities have even taken a liking to drones, often using them in search and rescue missions. But it's not just professionals utilizing these handy gadgets. Dave, a man from Ontario, Canada, loves to go to the countryside and snap photos of the landscape and animals grazing there with his drone. He had no idea that his love of drone photography would eventually lead him to a dark discovery. It all started on a typical sunny July morning when Dave decided to go to a nearby pasture he was familiar with in hopes of catching that perfect photo. The area in question is home to many cows and cattle with rolling hills and watering holes. But that day, Dave noticed something strange about a particular cow. He needed to take a closer look. One blonde cow captured by his footage had something peculiar on their nose. Dave couldn't tell quite what it was, but it looked like maybe coarse tufts of hair were growing out of its nose. Luckily, cows are curious by nature, so the cow was intrigued by the drone and kept following it as it flew along. It was only then that Dave knew exactly what the strange thing on the cow's nose really was. Dozens of large, sharp porcupine quills. Dave wasn't sure how long the cow had been injured, but he knew if he didn't act fast, then the wound could become infected, or the quills could become permanently embedded in its skin. Upon further investigation of the footage taken by his drone, he noticed that all the cows were tagged by their farmer. Using these tags, he was able to identify the injured cow's name, Linda. With this information in hand, Dave raced to the farmhouse to notify the farmer of Linda's grave condition. He could only hope that he managed to pass on the news before the cow came to greater harm. Together, the farmer and Dave began to isolate Linda from the herd. It wasn't easy. The cow sensed that something was going down. Luckily, the men were eventually able to get her into the stables for treatment. The farmer administered local anesthetics to numb the wounded area first. He then was able to carefully remove the quills from Linda's nose and apply antibiotics to prevent any potential infection. After her quick procedure was complete, Linda was fed a large bowl of corn and oats and then reunited with her herd. The owner monitored Linda's recovery from a distance and thanked Dave for his discovery. This isn't the first time that Dave has spotted something alarming on his drone and helped an animal in need either. Believe it or not, this has almost become a second calling for him. Previously, he was out using his drone in the pasture and noticed another cow named Flo in distress. Her newborn calf managed to slip under the electric fence, becoming separated from the herd and herself. When Dave noticed what was happening on his drone's feed, he ran down to the pasture and risked injury to push the baby calf, later named Sparky, back under the fence to reunite the two. This drone rescue is what inspired Dave to return to the pasture in July and ultimately save Linda. Taking action and returning Sparky to his mother gave him such a rush, he knew he had to do more to help. The ever-evolving drone technology is proving to be a tremendous resource in more ways than one. Dave never expected his hobby to rescue not one but 2 cows. Who knows how many more he might save? It seems as if these cows are lucky to have Dave watch over them with his drone. Remember, if you're using a drone and spot an animal in need, always contact the professionals. You just might save a life. Who knew that passion for photography and new technology could turn Dave into such a hero?